Welcome back, everybody. Nice to have you with us. Let's take a look now at some of your results then that came in over the weekend in Super League A. UCT going down to Marties, 25 points to 19. It was a win then for Tygerberg, 29-20 over NTK. Villagers with a win over UWC, 46-7. False Bay with a win over Brackenfell. And of course, as you saw before the break, Kales River with a 24-21 win over Hamlets. All right, Jerome, if you look at some of those results there, I suppose a lot of people were waiting to see what was going to happen Stellenbosch University against UCT University. The win then goes in favor of Marties. UCT had home ground advantage, though. They probably could have done better.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not easy going to the Green Mile, UCT's field, to go and take points there. But I think Kabamba Floors, who's the new Marties coach now, he's doing some great work there. I mean, they won the USA tournament. And obviously, UCT were playing, Marties wasn't playing, so we expected a bit more from UCT. So, like I say, Kabamba would be very happy with that win.
Yeah, well, let's take a look at the logs then. We'll see where we stand on the logs now. And, of course, Helderberg sitting at the top, followed by Durbel, Unimil, Hamiltons, False Bay, UCT, Villages, Brackenfell, St. George's and Tygerberg, and then Marties at 11. But Jerome, so Marties currently have, I think, eight games in hand on 19 points. They've got quite a few games to go still. And if we look at the games there now, I suppose important games would have been for False Bay to make sure that they took those points over the weekend. False Bay sitting at number 5 at the moment, but only 1 point above them is Hamilton's on 35 points. Hamilton's, though, have got a game in hand. Below False Bay, it's UCT. UCT still got quite a few games to go also. So have you got any thoughts on these timelines? I mean, if we look at that, UCT still has to play against Helderberg. They've already played Helderberg. UCT still has to play against Hamlets, Hamiltons, Durbel, Tygerberg, and NTK. Looking at that mix there, UCT is going to climb.
Yeah, and like I say, I mean, a lot of that games is also home games for them. So probably they'll get points out of that game. So they'll be up in the top 6, I suppose. One of their teams up there.
If we look at what False Bay's got coming up, and we're going to look at the barometer in a second, False Bay got to play Unimil and then St. George's, while Hamilton's still have to play Hamlets and Marties. It's both of those sides have got 50-50 games against, or at least a 50-50 chance of winning at least one of those games. So it does look like that position 6 for both of those teams is looking a little bit precarious.
Yeah, if you say like Hamilton's maybe can get to 40 because anything can happen with between Marties and them.
Yeah.
If they get a point or what out of that game, or they have to win Marties to be like really sure that they're up in the top 6. So they've got one sort of easy game.
Well, False Bay have got the same picture. False Bay have got to play Unimil still. They've got to play St. George's. They could also get their possible 10 points there, but UCT is going to climb. Villagers are probably going to climb as well. If we look at Villagers fixtures, Villagers still got to play. They're going to play UWC. They're going to play Marties. They're going to play NTK, Kales River, Hamlets, Brackenfell. And if we consider how they played against Durbel, Jerome, Villagers is also going to climb up.
Yeah, they're also going to climb up, but like I say, the Marties, the Marty team is fresh. They still have to play them. They've beaten UWC over the weekend. So they've got easy games. I say Marties is going to be a tough one, and I think
it's going to go down to the wire. It's just it's all unpredictable at the moment. Let's take a look now at the results in Super League B. Of course, SK Warmers with a win over CPUT, 39 points to 10. Franschhoek 29-14 over Belhar. Primrose with a win over All Saints, and then Strand 29-25 over Kylemore. If we take a look then at your logs, Franschhoek is sitting at the top of the pile, followed by SK Warmers, All Saints, Belleville, CPUT, Strand, Hands and Hearts, and then Vineyards at the bottom of the log, Langa, Young Peoples, and Paul. So Jerome, if we look at those results then, SK Warmers would be happy with that result. CPUT will still be a little bit nervous. They're sitting at the moment, they're sitting at number 5 on the log. CPUT are going to have to start thinking about what they're going to do to secure their position, Jerome.
Yeah, one good thing for them is they've got a few games in hand also. They've played 10 games so far.
Yeah.
So they probably will be up there, the top 5, 6.
Yeah. I think for Strand, they would also be happy with that result there, Jerome. Strand, of course, sitting at number 6 on the log, making sure that they stay in that position with their win over Carlamore.
Yeah, it's the same with Strand. It was a good result for them. Also got a game or two in hand.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Let's take a look now, folks, at Super League C. I think we've said on a few occasions now that Super League C is probably looking even closer than we historically know Super League B to have been. Let's take a look here at the results then for Super League C. A 1-point win for Ahmadiyya's, 25-24 over Macassar. Van der Stel then beating Blue Stars, 46-20. Masipumlele with a win over Rangers, and Kraaifontein 38-17 over Albions. All right, so that means that we'll take a look at the log there in a sec. But Jerome, close game there, Ahmadiyya's and Macassar.
Yeah, that's a big win for Ahmadiyya's because Macassar's on form.
Yeah. Let's take a look then at the logs and where that puts folks on the logs now. Van der Stel sitting at the top of the pile, still dominating there, followed by Goodwood. And then Macassar, well, they've still got a game in hand on 49 points. And then Ahmadiyya's 47 points on 11th place in the log. And Kraaifontein 11 points, 37 on the log. So, folks, very close. Let's take a look now at your fixtures. Other fixtures that came in this weekend, of course, in the Paarl region, Simondium went down to Allendale, and then Riverstones 27-24 over Lower Paarl. So again, the Paarl region there is showing to be to deliver some fantastic action. And then, of course, in the Women's League, we see Brackenfell Ladies with a 17-6 win over False Bay, and Elsie Srafir with a 5-point win over Kales River. Right, it's going to go down to the wire this weekend, folks. Let's take a look at your fixtures then coming up this weekend in Super League A. It's NTK up against Kales River. That's 13-12. You'll see there. That's going to be the one of the make-or-break games. Jerome, 13 against 12.
Yeah, like I say, NNK picking up, so Kales River also coming off a good win, so that's going to be a tough one. Yeah,
big game for Unimill against False Bay. We said earlier on that False Bay are going to be... let's look at the fixtures again quickly, folks, and we'll talk about that. Unimill against False Bay. Hamilton's take on UCT. UWC Marties. Remember, folks, some of these are midweek games. UCT Hamlets, and then, of course, Marties and Unimill. All right, so, Jerome, we know we've got a couple of midweek games there as well. Let's take a look at some of the barometers then coming up. But before we do that, let's quickly take a look at the score competition. If you want to win yourself a case of Score energy drink. Jerome, this team, you want to give it a go? I'll tell you what, I'll give you a bit of a clue, because I know it is rather tough to see out there, but let's just say that they come from the Stellenbosch region. Yeah, but of course you're not allowed to say. We know that you know. You're not allowed to say who it is. But folks, remember you can do the Spot the Team. We'll put you in the mix to win a case of Score energy drinks. Go to our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV, and you can put yourself in the mix then to win that case of Score energy drinks. Right, so here's your barometers then for this weekend. Jerome, we did say that these are going to be some of the big games then coming up this weekend, some of the fixtures. First one we're taking a look then is Hamilton's against UCT. Hamilton's sitting at number 4 on the log. UCT's number 6 on the log. It's going in favour of Hamilton's.
Yeah, I agree with the barometer because like UCT seems like they started well, but they're struggling a bit, and Hamilton's are picking up. Yeah,
well, Hamilton's have got even though they're lower on their win rate, they are scoring more points at home than UCT is scoring away. The odds, and of course the fan factor as well in their hands, the odds do favour Hamilton's. Right. Other fixtures, of course, NTK and Kales River, Jerome. Right, so this one, like we said, it's down to the wire. Even with the fan factor in favour of NTK, Kales River have the upper hand. They've got a higher win ratio. They're scoring more points when they play away than NTK do when they are playing than when NTK plays at home. It's in favour, pretty much 2-1 in favour of Kales River.
Yeah, I'll go with Kales River. We know the fan factor doesn't really, it's because Kuilsriver travel with all their fans.
Kuilsriver travel with the fans.
This weekend pass, when I watched Tigerberg NNK, was full of Tigerberg supporters.
Tigerberg supporters, yeah, NNK, yeah, absolutely. All right, UCT are up against Hamlets, folks, but we're not going to take a look at that picture because it really is the top of the white bottom. Unimol, False Bay. Jerome, this is going to be a big one, and I think the statistics are quite important to look at here. Unimol currently have an 80% success rate. False Bay got a 50% success rate. Unimol currently scoring, at the moment they are scoring 38 points when they play at home. That's high points for home games.
Yeah, Unimol score a lot of tries when they play. I've been to a couple of their games there. When they play at home, they score a lot of tries, play good rugby. But Falsby is picking up. I think that score, I think I agree with the barometer, but it's going to be quite a tight score.
Yeah, it's going to come down to the wire, but it is in favour of Unimol. Right, we've got about 3 seconds to do one last, well, in fact, folks, sorry, unfortunately, we are going to run out of time. We do have to crack on. If you are out there, remember, stay safe on the roads. Wherever you are at the moment, please be careful. Jerome, big thanks to you for joining us in the studio, and we hope to see you again next week.
Yeah, always a pleasure. And like I say, hopefully most of the games will go on. Can all go out and go enjoy the club rugby games this weekend. Yeah.
Right, folks, that's a wrap from us then this evening. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Stay safe out there. Bye-bye.